It's all good. Welcome to day 15, practice of gratitude. And today's lesson is magically heal relationships. So I'm going to get right into it. Relationships are so important, and there's some that last a lifetime, and then there's some that unfortunately they end for one reason or another. You have a you, you have a passing away of a family member, or you passing away of a parent. You get a divorce, or you have a breakup. No matter the situation, and there's this feeling of being left behind, and you feel like, why me? Or there's that anger, especially after a breakup, you have this anger towards a person, and when you see that person, you just hold this anger, you hold on to it, and in the meantime, it affects you more than it affects that person. So I'm going to read a quote here, and I think it's very important, and I think I will include it in the description down below. And it says, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. So you think about it. So I'm going to take my magic rock. As I told you, probably about a couple of weeks ago, I have this rock with me 80 to 90% of the time. And just imagine if this magic rock was a hot coal, and this hot coal was anger. It was revenge, and I'm holding on to it. And I'm waiting for the right moment to get revenge. And in the meantime, my hand is just burning. If this was an actual hot coal and I just got it out of the, whatever they use to heat up hot coals, but my hand would be burned. And in essence, I'm the only person that's being hurt is me. It's because I have that anger. So today's lesson focuses on how do we get rid of that? How do we dissipate that anger that we usually carry with ourselves, that guilt and resentment, the feeling to get revenge? How do we get rid of that feeling? So I'm gonna give you one cool exercise that I've just read in the book. And the book is called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, and that is, choose one very significant situation where you feel like it is hopeless. You feel like, every day I wake up, and if I hear another song that reminds me of my ex, I am going to throw a shoe through the TV, or whatever it is. Or it could be a loss. You lost a loved one, and it's been years, since you've lost this loved one, and you still kind of feel that pain. So how do you reconcile that? How do you make it better so you can go forward and still enjoy those good memories? And that's what it is. So take out a piece of paper, sit down, and I'm gonna give a very personal example. Relationship I had many years ago with a lady that I thought things were gonna work out, and they didn't. But I'm fortunate today that I'm married, so I wouldn't be married today if that past relationship worked out. And for the longest time with that relationship, I just had feelings of resentment because I wanted to get, I don't know if it was revenge or closure, but it felt like, I kind of felt like I was being left. I kind of felt cheated in a certain way. It was like, how could you leave me? I did everything right in my mind. And so, and as you know, relationships are complex. No matter what, even if they're going well, sometimes the other person realizes that it's just not a match. So, taking that situation, I can write down 10 things that went well in that relationship, the good memories, whatever it was, whether it's a good time out, having fun, having a meal, laughing together, enjoying hobbies. Those good feelings, when they creep in, it make me realize that, what, it's kind of silly to hold on to this resentment that I have for this woman in particular. But as I thought about it, I was like, and it helped me as I did, because I've done this exercise before. It helped me realize that going through that relationship was a building block for future relationships. And while the ending wasn't what I wanted, I can write down a list of 10 things. Actually, I wrote down more things that were great and they were awesome about their relationship. Or take another situation. And this may be a little bit more difficult. Um, if you have, I think this is one of the things in the book. I'm going to kind of paraphrase. You have a relationship with a parent. Let's say you have a relationship with your father. And you haven't talked to him in years because you had a big falling out. And how do you reconcile that? Well, there's probably some good things that have happened in that relationship with your dad or with your mom, and you haven't called them for weeks, months, or years. And one way to help reconcile that is to remember the good times. There's something good that you remember, that before this tumultuous time, before this breakup, before this period of not talking to your loved one or your parent, your father, your mother, there were some good things that you could remember. And this one is always, it gets most of the conversation, is because it's like, well, what if I just had an absolute a-hole of a parent? They did nothing. I'm only here because of my hard work. And I would beg to differ. I would say that there's some things, if it's a parent, they gave you life, they birthed you, they took care of you, they didn't totally destroy your life. So there's that golden nugget, that you can always find, the saying, the silver lining in every cloud. There's something that you can salvage from that, and you start feeling better. It's not going to, it may not immediately change the situation that you're in, but it helps you say, you know what, I'm no longer going to hold on to this hot coal. And I don't know, because it does nothing. Right now, in order to hold this coal, I have to make a fist, and it requires energy of me. Why not use that? Why not let it go and be relaxed and enjoy the life that you have ahead of you? So I hope this helps. And as always, don't forget to write down your 10 blessings that you have. I do that every day before recording this. Or some days, I'll be honest, I write it. Give me a second. I spit on the lens. Some days I'll do it throughout the course of the day, because sometimes I get like a brain cramp, because I try not to write down the exact same thing. Some days I may write like a facsimile of a similar thing, but I try not to do that, so I can have at least 10 good blessings. And then I always finish with the magic rock before I go to bed, and remind myself of the greatest thing to happen. So this video is a little bit longer than normal, but as usual, I'll keep them under 10 minutes. Thanks for joining me. This is the Renaissance Mountain Man. I always forget to put my little tagline on there. But please click like, share, and subscribe, and leave some comments below. Leave constructive criticism or your own stories with practicing gratitude. This is something I try to do on a daily basis, and depending on as you can tell, I live in the mountains, depending on my internet connection, I try to get these uploaded, but it takes some time. So with that, thanks for joining me. I think it's going to get better. So take the time to do this exercise, and I wish you well. All right, with that, I'll talk to you later. Peace.